What's up of the morning to you ladies? My name is the Buck. Welcome back to the Hay series where we got a couple different events lined up for you guys today. First and foremost, we're going to have to get our Dodge out of the garage over there, hook it up to our Iron Bull gooseneck, get the skid steer with its new pallet forks I found on Craigslist for about $300, and we're going to head into town to the animal market because we have a cattle hoof trimming crush that I ended up finding for about $1,500. Like I was saying, they have one for sale. I need to make sure I'm taking care of my cattle, and yes, I could technically hire out a hoof trimmer to come out here and do that, but I have a little bit enough experience in it myself that I don't have enough cattle, and the cattle I bought, they already have good enough feet. The ground out here is pretty soft, and it's pretty flat, and I make sure I keep that ground and the straw beds good for them, so we'll definitely want to still try and maintain them as well as possible, because there's always accidents happen. Cattle are relatively big animals. And I think I have two of them that have two back limbs that are actually limp. They're limping around. They don't like to do that. So we're going to check them out, make sure they don't have any white line fractures or possibly a lesion in there, maybe a pus pocket, or what we really don't want us to have is like a sole fracture where they got sole separation from the corium. But other than that, the other project we're going to be doing today is getting them on load, but I'm going to be trading in my Z994R here for a 1585 front-mounted deck mower. Now, this is technically a brand new mower. It's got run flats in the back. Why on earth would you trade this off? Because they both have 72-inch decks. Well, in my opinion, I like to see the deck in front of me a lot better. It's a little bit easier, plus it's a floating deck, so it's got a little bit more of a, I'd say, a better cut because of the fact you're not relying on the mower to be at the right position to cut and gouge the deck in the ground when the deck floats on its own. So I can get that and trade it off. I might lose about $3-4 grand on the trade, but I think that'll be steady to go. So without further ado, let's get right into the Dodge. Now, if you guys have not already, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe down below. As you do know, we are on that race to the 100,000 subscriber mark by the end of this year. And I think by the looks of the poll-wise, you guys are only about 80. We're only about 15% that we actually have subscribed watching, man. If you guys can help a brother out, just click that little red button and be ready to go with all the great content that we have planned for you guys on this channel. I'm really trying to take a lot more strides to get more content out to you guys. As we do also know the part 2 to the John Deere 56. I've been asked about that since we do obviously have footage now of me driving the thing. But that part is going to be probably our next video after this, so stay tuned for that. I'm finishing up on recording with that. It's been a whirlwind with that mower, so now that we got our gooseneck attached, we're going to get the skid steer with the pallet forks on, and we'll see you guys down at the animal lot. You know, I hate to say it, while we're at it, why not just be smart and grab the zero turn here while you're at it? Okay, now we'll meet you guys down at the animal yard. So just now pulling in, and there is our cattle crush. Now, that is not exactly what those things look like, as that is a real picture of what one of those things look like. But this is a mock-up version that I kind of pieced together off of Rockin' S Ranch's fabrication tartar chute. Now, this is technically, I don't know exactly what this is for. I know the cow goes in here and then his neck goes around that. I think this is either a cleaning. I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what that's for. But either way, I kind of just shortened it, took out a handful of things, and then mocked one up that kind of resembled more of what these cattle crushes actually look like. There's technically supposed to be like the hooks and the cables that you pull the cattle's leg up with, and then a big brace that goes underneath their stomach. So it holds them up while they're standing on 3 legs instead of 4. But it's a very simplistic little design. But we should be able to get the Bobcat off here quick and hold that. Now, our mower is just across the road over there at the dealer, so I probably could just drive that over there quick and get it and swap it out, but we'll be able to fit the crush on there. I'll just leave the Bobcat over here quick. These guys know me. So this should be light enough that I can just pick it up on this 2 bars right here. Yeah. Let's kind of rock that back without it swinging and hitting me inside the cabin of this thing. There we go. So we'll set this off to the side right now, and we'll go run over and get our mower. And there is our replacement, which that is a 2018 1585, and that is a 21 Z994R. So this is slightly older, but the thing, like I said, that this one has, it has the floating deck in the front. It steers like a combine. I love that. Just, that's the big portion that I really do like, because look at the visibility that you have over the top of the deck. You can see what you're looking at and know what you're working on. That's a big thing to me. And then, of course, you have the roll bar. It's easier to move around. This one, I love it, but I would much rather have this style of mower, so we'll see what they can give me for my mower, and then we'll see what we can do with this. So my mower had 95 hours on it, and they only gave me $4,300 for that thing. And this mower, they want 10. That's a loss of $6,000. Well, a little under. Like $5,700. Okay, we'll do that. So, strap that down. We'll get this back on, and we'll take this up to our moo-moos so we can start getting to work on some hoof trimming. So we will back this thing off without, you know, hitting ourselves too much, because I really have no need to have this thing go through the glass window in the front on it. I don't really care to replace that, even though I know it's bulletproof glass, but that doesn't mean that, you know, 800 pounds of metal is just going to come slamming through the window. I think if I'm smart, I did not leave the gate locked, but who knows on that one. And of course, all the cows are standing right where I need to go through. Cool, gate was unlocked. Now, the real question is, where do I want to put this? Probably would be best to put it right where the feed wagon is, because of the fact I can get them in on solid ground. They can walk in, they can walk right back out into the cattle yard, so... well, maybe not. Problem is I don't have any areas that are like concrete floors or a place where they can get in and get out and they already don't have their feet just stomping in mud. We'll pull the 4430 out here quick, and we're just going to try with the skid steer to maybe put it inside there. I'm just trying to think of an area where it's like they can get in and get out and they're not like struggling to get in and get out in terms of mobility, but also just making it nice. I think we can make that work, because then they can walk right from there straight out and go into the cattle yard, and I'll just leave the door open so they can get in back into the yard through that door right there. So we'll try that out for size. Watch out, moose. So the cattle are now fed. We're just going to park the 4430 over there just so it gets out of the way. We don't have to worry about it. This is also a new investment that we've put towards the cattle. It's one of these big brushes. They love this thing. They look like a cat when they use these. That's absolutely hilarious. But that should help with their productivity. And like I did say, I want to try and switch out their feed mainly just for the total mixed rations, so they're getting the most productivity out of them as possible. I don't know how to grammar half the time, but I need to run over to my pickup with the toolbox because I gotta go and grab my disinfectant, the hoof trimming knife, as well as my angle grinder, since that is the biggest tools that I'm going to have to use for this job. Now, the angle grinder does not have, if you guys actually have done hoof trimming, they don't have a regular disc on them. It's like it's a metal disc, so it takes it off. It's like trimming your toenails. So we have our bottle of iodine, however you like to say it. That'll be used to spray in case we have any digital dermatitis, which is like a fungus bacteria buildup on the hoof. If it gets infected, so you have like a crack with a nail, a rock, and slurry and debris just gets up in there and gets it. This is what you can use. That, or you can use a salicylic acid, which also can be used to get rid of that, or a clay putty. I can't remember exactly what that stuff's called. We have our bottle of iodine. We have our hoof trimming knife, so this is the fine-tuning work of how the hoofs technically used to be done before they had, your angle grinder. But the hoof trimming knife, this will be really nice because you can really get into all of the little areas and just take away the material. But this gets down the bulk of your material. Like I said, it's not like an actual angle grinder disc that you'd use to cut through metal or grind on the metal welds. It's just, it looks like a big razor blade, basically. So it just takes off the material in bigger layers than using the hoof knife. But we're going to go and grab our two cattle by the name of Ella and Maggie, as I believe those two are the ones that we have with the limnus on their back legs, as these two are both of our Holstein cattle. So we'll get them in the crush, and we will start our way working. So I got to find them first. I think Maggie's over here somewhere. Maggie, is that you? No. Clarabelle. There she is. All right, Maggie, come on. We're going to get you in the crush. Come on. Hey, she's coming. Yeah, she's kind of hobbling back there. Get her door open for her so she can kind of walk in. Here, Mag. Come on. Not here to hurt you. There she is. All right. So we'll get our crush down here. So let's start by getting her left leg up here. Now, there's actually like a support thing that's supposed to be holding up her stomach under here, so it's not putting all that weight down on her feet. But I know her limnus is on the right leg, so we're going to start out by just taking a peek at her left foot, left claw for the medial claw on the inside and the lateral claw on the outside. The toe length, her feet actually are pretty even. It needs a little bit of a trim up. The one thing I'm worried about on that right foot is there's a possibility of a white line defect. So we'll just kind of take, for starters, we don't need to really wash off the foot, but we will take our angle grinder here just to take off a little bit of material, and then we'll finish up carving out and making it look a little bit nicer with the hoof trimming knife. So we'll start out here with our angle grinder, just kind of go up and down. Like I said, this is making a metal sound. This is not what it sounds like. It sounds like basically a wood chipper slightly. I don't know. I've watched a lot. Like, I've just binge watched these videos every now and then between a guy called Nate the Hoof Guy and the Hoof GP. So if you guys know who those two dudes are, they're really great content creators. So that is a nice even surface. So we're going to swap to our knife here quick, and we're just going to, like I said, do a little bit of modeling work on these. Just clean out the insides of our lateral claw here. No, medial claw, and then the lateral claw will just kind of clean up a little bit on there. And by the looks of that, our hoof is looking pretty fine. We don't need to add a block. We don't need to do anything because this is just a regular cleanup trim. The problem's going to arise once we get to the other one. Now, on this cow, the model of it does not actually have, how we say, digital dermatitis on it, but our claws definitely... Actually, this one does look a little bit... I mean, there's still... The toe on the outside claw looks just a little bit too long, so we might trim that down, but I can see it right there. There is a big crack that is running down right technically at the heel. It's a crack that's going about halfway down the outside claw, and I have a very good feeling that behind that is going to be a source of digital dermatitis, possibly, but I know it's a white line defect. It is sole separation. We need to get that off, and we need to get this cow feeling comfortable again. So, don't you worry, Maggie. We're going to take care of you here. We're going to get you going, and we're going to get you back out into the field. So, shave down this claw first. See how far down we need to go. And we don't want to do too much work with the grinder because we also want to make sure we're not, in essence, getting down to the corium underneath all this dead and detached horn, because if you hit the corium with your knife and it starts bleeding, one, YouTube doesn't like that, and two, that technically, it hurts the cow. I mean, it's like having an infected ingrown toenail. It hurts. It sucks. But we'll just kind of carve away out here, and yep, just as I suspected, we have a really bad, well, that's actually not too bad of a case, but that is some digital dermatitis, so we'll kind of clean up the foot, and we will end up taking the grinder. We're going to grind off a little bit of that inside claw, and we're going to put a block on that so it'll stay level but keep the foot off the ground. Give it a shot of iodine, and then wrap it up and let her back out into the, not pasture, but back out into the yard. So let's spray that little corner right there of the claw. And we'll just flatten out her inside claw here quick on the medial side and wrap it up, and we'll get her back out into the yard. Wrap her foot up. And dear, you are ready to go, so let me get you out of here. You did very good today, Maggie. Thank you for being such a good customer. Glad to see you doing good. Well, let's get you out of here. And look at that. She is walking with stride now. So that wrap will stay on. It'll fall off on its own. We didn't need to basically wrap it tight because one, that could cut circulation off to the claws, but two, it once that about a day or so, it's like your skin. It'll heal itself over, it'll scab over, and then it starts to actually do the healing process of cleaning up that claw. So let's go and grab Ella, the other cow that we needed to do some work to, and we'll get her in the crush, and we should be able to fix up her back left claw. I think they're having a problem, and then we'll move on to the mowing. All right, Ella, here we go. So I actually did also do a regular routine trim. I just didn't show it beforehand on Maggie's front claws. So we're going to do an all-around trim here for Ella as well, as pretty much as all the other cows as well. We're just going to do a basic trim on all of them. None of them are having problems, but these two just had some limbness on their back claws. But we're going to raise up her left leg here, get a good look at it, and yep, we do have some cracks in here, but this doesn't look like anything too bad, unless we got some buried in. Same thing, just infection, digital dermatitis. It's not, we don't have severe cases of it by the looks of it in any of this, so we'll get this all cleaned up again, and we'll see you guys probably once I get a majority of the cattle run through the crush here. So we are just finishing up on our last Holstein Bessie. And we did also end up finding out that Ella ended up actually having a sole ulcer on the inside medial claw. So those things are not fun. It's a kind of an ugly sight if you get a really bad one. But hers wasn't huge. It was still needing to get a little bit of painkillers maybe. So I'll run down to the animal vet, get some painkillers for her, just so she can kind of have a little bit more comfort besides what we did. But we had to shave down quite a bit of her inside claw, put a block on the outside, and she's kind of figuring it out how to walk again on it. But we're just kind of carving out the inside of Bessie's claws here. And that should be good. She had a regular routine trim. Thank you, Bessie. And we'll get you outside. We'll get you some feed. So with that being said, I think that's going to be a great investment. So now we can do our cattle crush trimming on our own because we have all the equipment that we need for it. But I now need to run back to the house with the mower on the Dodge and start mowing. I think I'm going to be able to leave the skid steer here for the next day or two. It shouldn't be a problem sitting right there. If anything, I just run up and grab it. But that should take care of the cattle, at least for today. I know we might need to run a trailer load of water up here just so we can make sure they are fully hydrated with agua. But I'm excited to try out this new mower because, I mean, like I said, it's the same size deck that we had on the other one. It's just, I really do like / prefer this floating style of deck, and especially the front-mounted mowers. It always kind of reminds me of driving a combine, so make our way back down to the house here, get the mowers unloaded. We'll see you guys when we start mowing our freshly new lawn. You did not just see that sign laying on the ground because I hit something earlier.
Well, I wanna take a ride in the wheelbarrow in your mind. Take me all around to the thinking places where you spend your time. Ain't no place I'd rather go. You're a funny little critter and I love you so, man. Take a ride in the wheelbarrow in your mind. I come and sit down with me in a rocking chair. Coffee pot is nice and hot. We can sit in our underwear. Tell me about the dreams you had last week, swimming all around with the fish in the sea. Come and sit down with me in a rocking chair. Fly up to couple days or even just an afternoon. They be looking up and we'll be looking down. We can wave to the people in our hometown now. Come on, baby, let's fly up to the moon. And I wanna take a ride in the wheelbarrow in your mind. Take me all around to the thinking places where you spend your time. There ain't no place I'd rather go. You're a funny little critter and I love you so. And I wanna take a ride in the wheelbarrow in your mind. Yeah, I wanna take a ride in the wheelbarrow in your mind.
So that's pretty much going to do it for our front yard of mowing. Right now, we're kind of starting on the left side of everything. And I'm going to do this after I run into town quick and grab myself something to eat. It's like 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the afternoon, and I haven't eaten lunch yet, nor did I have a very big breakfast. So we're going to run inside quick, maybe get the charger, take that into town. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe down below. If you did enjoy this content, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you guys think. I will probably be, like I said, the next video will be the part 2 to working on the John Deere 56. If you guys would like to check out the Hay Series playlist, you guys can get all the up-to-date content and the previous content on this series. There's that right there. But that is going to do it for me, guys. Be sure to also check out the Boomstick Club for all the up-to-date content from me and the gang. You guys already know who is in it, and I shall see you all in the next one. This is the Rental Man out.